Hey everyone, my name is Jay and this is Notion Lab. One issue with my power tools collection is the amount of cord that's in the way and thus making cable management difficult. A quick research online and I found a few solutions. The most appealing one was by another YouTuber named Marius Hornberger. He used a set of PowerCon True 1 connectors made by Nortric to make an N-line quick connection, but I wonder if a true Festool style plug-it connection could be made by having a low-profile connector directly on the tool. Nortric does manufacture such connectors and this is my attempt. First, a little info on the connectors. The low-profile connector is the Nortric NAC3MPX and the cable connector is the NAC3FXW. The set have a locking mechanism so the cable will not come loose during use and can be unplugged under load. Both connectors are clearly labeled and the data sheet provides the wiring diagram. There's 3 prongs and sockets. The first is L for live or black wire, N for neutral or white wire, and the grounding symbol for ground or green wire. I started with the angle grinder. It's Harbor Freight's premium brand and there's only one screw on the back to remove. Once the back cover is removed, I trim the cable to a few inches and using a rotary tool with a sanding wheel, I proceeded to make the hole wider. Once that was sufficient, I did a dry fit of the connector and back housing to determine what section of plastic I needed to trim on the tool. I wanted to make sure any plastic removed was not part of the grinder's structural integrity. Using a pair of cutters, I removed the bulk of the plastic and the rest with the rotary tool. Next, I removed the jacket from the wires and prepped them for soldering. This tool does not have a ground wire, so we'll leave that blank. This is not a soldering tutorial, but when soldering, flux will make the job a lot easier. In this case, I wish I had a helping hand, but I had to make do. Maybe that will be a future project. Once finished, it's time to put the tool back together. It's not perfect due to the grinder's shape and a portion of the yellow is still showing, but I did not want to remove too much plastic and ruin the tool. Next was the Makita trim router. Installing the connector is the same as before, using my rotary tool to sand the plastic down and constantly checking for fit. It was a bit different in this case since there's 2 halves, but it's fairly straightforward. Wiring was a bit easier on this one since the cable pad is shorter. Once everything is done, it's time to put things back together. It's not on camera, but I added some hot glue to the connector. Last but not least is the DeWalt table saw. It was by far the easiest to install and wire. I decided to place the hole for the connector in a new location for a cleaner install, cut the excess cable, soldered the connector, and added some hot glue to secure it in place. Now, it's time to work on the cable. As I mentioned before, the connectors are labeled, and even though most of the tools I've modified does not have grounding prongs, it's a good idea to use a cable with grounding options for future tools that may require it. This is the connector laid out. The cord has to go through part A, B, and C before it can be connected through part E. I trim roughly 1/4 inch from the wires. A T8 torque screwdriver is needed to attach the wires to part E. Once finished, everything can be twisted together. Now it's time to test everything. I used a trim router to test and so far so good. and off camera I modified a few more tools. The end result is not perfect, but it will do for the moment. That's all for now. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you have not already. Hit the like button for more content, and consider sharing the video if you find it useful. Until next time, later days.